Wake up, buy here, pay here people. It's a beautiful day. Go grab yourself another cup of joe and say hello to Jim and Michelle Rhodes on the Buy Here, Pay Here morning show. Take it away, you two.
Good morning. Welcome to our second live broadcast of the Buy Here, Pay Here morning show. We are really, really happy to have you here. And Jim and I are sitting at the table, kind of looking at each other across the table. And by the way, this is not, we decided that this is going to be an audio show unless we get a lot of feedback from people that says, no, we want to be able to see, but we're going to make this an audio show.
Yeah, that's the plan. So jump in there and give us your feedback and tell us, first of all, again, like we did Wednesday, let us know what state you're in from.
Oh, yeah.
And we may get a chance to do a poll before the end of today's episode, but we also have to introduce our special guest, Tommy Brandis, who's joining us from Eastern Pennsylvania. Welcome, Tommy.
Good morning, Jim. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, everyone.
So great to have you here.
All that pressure out there.
I was going to say peer pressure.
We pressure
Thank you. Yeah.
I conform too easy.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Right on.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention before we really got started is that when you enter, want to enter comments, that if you just go through and enter comments, all we see on our end is just a Facebook user, but there's a little link on the inside of the show that says show who you are. So if you want to show who you are, that you go ahead and click that, and then we can see actually who is sending the message. So a couple of people got that last time, right, and we were like, how did that happen? We're learning as we go. How did that happen? And then we got in and we went, oh, this is how it happened. And so if you want us to know who it is that's making comments, just make sure you click that little thing within the post. So.
And jump in there and just confirm for us that our audio is good, that everybody's hearing us, and again, let us know if you have questions. You can also put that in the chat box there. Throw your questions in there. Today, we mostly wanted to have a chance to talk to Tommy about the BHPH Success Group. As we mentioned on Wednesday, Tommy's been kind enough to let us get in here and broadcast live inside the group. So we're grateful for that. And as I explained on Wednesday, Tommy and I have known one another since the late 90s. I consider Tommy a friend. And I also know that Tommy and I really want the same things for this industry. We're definitely about trying to, help dealers, and Tommy knows too that I'm very much focused on helping consumers have a better experience and buy here, pay here as well. So it's all part of the same thing. And so again, welcome, Tommy. We wanted you to talk to us this morning about how the group even came to be.
Well, it's interesting. I've said it before. I don't have one. I don't think in my 30 years, I don't have one original idea. Somebody always used to bring something up, and then I learn and listen and run with it. So in 2015, you would know, we had a friend of ours who was a consultant, Al Mosier, came and worked for me for a period of time, and we were trying a couple different projects. And he was the original one that said, hey, what about a Facebook page for just buy here, pay here dealers? I said, yeah, that's cool. So I didn't really think too much of it, and I really haven't thought too much of it for a few years until I saw it growing and seeing the interaction between dealers, and it's really become the place to go if you want a question answered and buy here, pay here.
Absolutely, it's more than 3,000 members now, and it's quite active and it's quite valuable. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff that's shared in there, and so you've created a format where people can get in there and get engaged and learn from one another and share some tips and what have you. But so what have you kind of noticed as the group evolved? What are you seeing?
I'm seeing an opportunity for more, I guess, I don't want to, more deeper interaction between dealers, not just the questions of, do you have a repo company in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, are cool. Mm-hmm. But the questions, some of your polls have come out, a couple deep questions about inventory, pay plans, things like that. So I see it growing more and more, and that's kind of where we want to continue to see it grow. At least that's my vision.
Right. We've also enjoyed the feedback on the polls. Like, it's a great way to get, an instant pulse on, what's happening with people out there. And so, yeah, that's all good stuff.
One of the things that I as the novice in the room, and being newly introduced to Buy Here, Pay Your Success is, I really have enjoyed. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from the very simple questions. I've learned a lot from the deeper questions. I've a couple of times tried to weigh in, and sometimes it's like I'll do it without saying, "All right, Jim, am I right in what I'm thinking?" And then afterwards he'll go, "Oh, honey, there's more to that than what you just said." So, but it's with Facebook, one of the things, like you said, Tommy, that repo, whatever it is that you have the ability to, new people that are on the stream have the ability to search. And before they post something, they can search the content of the stream and maybe be able to find the answer to their question there. Because there's a lot of times that what I've seen is that it's the same question, like 2 or 3 weeks later, it's a different person that's asking the same question. And that's one of the beautiful things about Facebook, is that you have the ability to just kind of get in there and look, or ask something in real time because you're busy and kind of want to go.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think that's something a lot of folks in the group, especially the newer ones, need to know that, I thought about bringing hashtags, but I don't know that that's necessary. If you find the search bar in the group, you could search the word software or GPS or reinsurance, and you're going to find, old posts where, people have bounced that stuff around. And so, yeah, we don't have to all contribute or answer the same questions again and again if we just do the search bar.
But sometimes it's fun.
Yeah,
let's
or
just
go
throw it
add
in there
to
and see
add to the old conversation. If you
Yeah.
find the old conversation and you comment in there, then obviously it comes back to the
it
top
comes
of the
back to the
feed,
top.
and we can add.
And it's
our
always
2
fun
cents.
to see, like the old conversation only had a handful of people. The new conversation has more people and, different ideas and things like that. So I really like the setup of Facebook, and that, since Buy Your, Pay Your Success has been around for a while, there is a treasure trove of information in there.
Right. Oh, for sure. So, Tommy, I know you're also involved in state association in your area. You want to talk to us about that? What's going on with your region up there?
We're really right now focusing on some abandoned title issues, cars being scrapped with liens on them, and cars being impounded. And we recently jumped on, which I think we've seen the National Association do it, catalytic converter theft, which is becoming
we've been watching that.
kind of an epidemic in our community, or used cars in general. I've
seen some really creative ways that people are keeping that from happening. Like, I think I read a while ago that catalytic converter thing, that at some shops they're letting airs out of the tires so people can't get underneath the car.
Yeah, it's interesting. Let's just say I'm glad I don't sell any trucks, so
yeah,
it's too easy to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. Jim, you wanted to kind of talk about some of the things that you've really appreciated about Buy Your, Pay Your Success too. So
yeah, and I touched on some of those already, but I think what it does is it gives us a platform to be able to share, some of the, obviously it's regular tips, and it's obviously intended to be a pitch free group. And, Michelle and I have certainly, in the time we've been members, tried to contribute. Like, we're obviously out there trying to add value. And so that's, what you'll continue to see out of us is just trying to do what we can to contribute to the conversation and give people tips based on a lot of years and a lot of miles of experience. So, that's obviously what we're in there trying to do. And we see others doing the same. Like, it's just proven to be a great platform for that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's been kind of fun to watch people that are out there trying to really help. And I love that it's really dealers helping dealers, and it's kind of bringing new dealers into it's bringing new dealers and fresh dealers, so seasoned dealers and fresh dealers together.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like it's just a really great place to start with understanding with new dealers the wealth of information that there is out there. And that there's a lot of people out there that are willing to help and add their thoughts.
And I would also say that I think this morning show, has a chance to be a really good resource for people that are new to the business, because we're going to talk about all the stuff. And I think what this broadcast is going to allow us to do, Tommy, is, Michelle and I have been really clear on our side of, we just want to begin to sort of upload to the industry, all the years of knowledge that, I've been able to accumulate by being out there. And listen, doesn't mean that I know it all, but one thing that I have as an advantage from where I sit is I've been in dealerships in lots of places, dealerships and finance companies, some large, some small, some working well, some struggling. And when you do that, you learn. I often say when I go out and do, consulting coaching visits, that I learn as much as I teach. And so that is what I look forward to now doing, is through this platform, we'll be able to just share a lot of what we've learned. And I think new dealers in particular will have a chance to pick up some ideas about, what we see as best practices and what's worked for others.
So that kind of like leads us to why we asked Tommy to host us on Buy Here, Pay Here Success for the morning show. And, we're fortunate enough that Tommy is not only a colleague, but we consider him friend and really Jim, I don't know, those of you who know Jim's and Tommy's history, they talk about back in the old days. Well, they really have a history from back in the old days, right, Tommy?
Yeah, but before there was an internet, practically. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
I was financing station wagons, back in the day. So,
the ones with wood panels.
Yeah, yeah. We did some
right
of those.
on.
Yeah.
My state sales tax is now more than the cars I used to buy.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So, but it's neat. I really appreciate you guys coming to me with this idea, because what I see with the group, and the way to expand it and make it even more valuable to everyone, dealers and vendors alike, is that there's so many dealers that have a lot of seat time out there, and some new ones with some great ideas, along with a lot of vendors who've been in the trenches, like you've been around. There's vendors we know that go around that can really, really help without necessarily pitching their product.
Sure.
So I've tried to keep it to a no pitch, but I don't mind, the little pitch here and there when you put one up and hey, this is my idea. You want to follow me? Come, hit me a personal message, but yeah. When we start getting 2 or 3 in a day, or one, every other day, it's like, then I kind of have to shut you down, and I don't want to do that. But I see a real benefit to having vendors comment, and your show becoming the format where you could have daily guests, is kind of what I see. And I'm sure you're kind of thinking the same thing. You could pick the brains of some of the biggest and best in the industry.
Oh yeah. Listen, all of those folks are welcome, on this show and on our podcast. I mean, a lot of people say it, and I think people will come to see in everything we do going forward that Michelle and I really do believe in the all ships rise concept. That we believe that the industry is better. And right now it's a little bit fragmented, frankly. I mean, there's a lot of scrambling for, what you might
being
call
the first, being the whatever.
Yeah. And there's people going different directions, and that's okay. Everybody's got their own ideas and what they want to do. But if we're really going to, have a positive impact on the industry, then it's going to work better when everybody works together. Right. And so we look forward to that. And I think what you're going to see from Michelle and myself is that we're really just firmly in the camp of the dealers. Like we have the good fortune of being agnostic. Everybody's heard us say that over the years. We don't play favorites with vendors or whatever. They're all welcome. And so we obviously, when we're working with dealers, our interest is in providing the best solutions to dealers, and then let the dealer decide who they want to do business with. Right.
Yeah. We actually, those of you who tuned in last time, we have a morning ritual that it's sacred to us, and it's coffee time. And so, like I mentioned last week, is that by the time we got into the show, I think I was about 4 cups in. Little jittery, but that's okay. But this morning, one of the things that we were discussing, and so let me just give you a little background to our coffee time. There are rules associated with this coffee time, and that both Jim and I have been really, really good about holding each other to the rules. And one of the rules is that no computers and no cell phones. It's just us having a conversation about whatever we need to have a conversation with. And I know for Jim, like, we don't talk about work until he's at least 1 full cup in, because his brain doesn't work that way. But this morning, when Jim was just mentioning why, like kind of our why, that we're in the process of going through an exercise, and we're taking one of our clients through an exercise of it really ties to what we talked about Buy Here Pay Here United, about the branding and all of that. And so we're going through an exercise and really just sharpening up our why. And I'm excited when we have like all of that work done to be able to start to share that. But it was like primarily it was about dealer success. I mean, it's like we want to be able to contribute in every way we possibly can to making sure that the dealers are successful and that they're good to their customers. And this is just one way that we can reach people. Those of you who've been watching, there's a lot of things that we've been doing and creating because and with like either a 0 or very low entry point, so that people can get some information. And then this is just one of the new things that we, brainchild. And I kind of wanted to, though, talk just for a second about how this is different from the Tote the Note podcast, because, it's like the podcast is kind of the same type of platform or, modality, medium, but that this is different than the podcast. And so I actually this morning was like, Jim, would you talk about that?
Yeah. So when it came up before, because we were really sorting out, what is this going to look like going forward? And I think the best way we can characterize it, if you think about this morning show, first of all, it's going to be live. Like we expect to do 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning live. And it will be, if you think about it in terms of television, if we've all watched Good Morning America or the Today Show, in the morning at some point in our life, and then in the evening you have more like your Dateline 2020, your kind of your serious news or whatever. So that the podcast will be more long form, will be speakers, industry people, and
more light.
More. And so in the mornings we'll be more light. And I told Michelle, I don't think you'll ever see us doing a cooking segment, but
that'd be really interesting radio, don't you think, Tommy? Hey, Tommy, you're a good cook. Maybe you can be a guest.
Right.
I think you can do your queso.
Right. There you go.
Oh,
yeah, that'd be fun.
Oh, that would be. Yeah. Oh, that's like another show. Tommy, don't get us started.
Yeah. Yeah, that was so much fun for us. We really, it was a fun way for me to introduce Michelle to queso, because I'd been living in Utah at that time for a good stretch, and I wasn't being able to find good queso. If you folks from Utah know where to find good queso, let us know, because we're back there regularly.
It's all white cheese sauce, I found out.
Yeah.
I thought that's what queso was.
So having lived in Texas for 12 years, I said, no, we got to introduce you to some real queso. And so that was fun when we were in Texas to be able to kind of make the swing and try.
I think if you hashtag queso tour,
maybe.
Did we hashtag those?
So probably queso in our.
It was an awful lot of fun, getting a lot of banter and seeing people get on. Buckeye Brett was one of the ones that started. He started posting things about the queso tour, and we had some good conversations.
Look forward to having Brett on with us one morning soon. So but I think, Tommy, with you and me, it's just easy for us to align. We've known each other long enough that we know that we align on these things about, customer retention. Obviously, you were a panelist with us at NABD when we talked about customer retention. And I will throw a quick mention in there for Tommy, too. Tommy was our first recipient of a White Hat Way. The White Hat Way Award. So what Michelle and I are trying to do with the White Hat Way is spotlight dealers who are treating customers well and really focused on customer retention, a good customer experience. And Tommy's had customers through 4 generations, I think you told us, and have the same customer family on the books for all these years. And so that's what we're trying to spotlight is for new dealers. We want them to understand it's entirely possible to be successful, treat your customers well, have them, you focus on repeat and referral business, and you've got these customers for many, many years. And it's just a way to make your business not only more successful, but more sustainable. We think you'll be around in 20 and 30 years like Tommy has been when you take good care of customers and they come back to do business with you again and again.
Hey, so Tommy, while we're on the subject, because not everyone was there when we did the dealer panel, tell us about your longest standing customer.
Well, it's interesting. I'm looking at it. Our 30-year anniversary is coming up next month.
Beautiful.
And it was actually the very first car I sold on June 4th, 1992. It was a 1982 Chevy Celebrity blue, to be exact. You never forget you never forget your first time.
Blue.
So, but they had three young children at the time. They bought the car. Everything was great. A couple months later, their parents came in, bought a vehicle from us. And then over the years, they continued to buy cars, husband, wife, kids grew up. 16-year-old needed a car. We sold them a car with mom as a co-signer. And then long story short, probably about a year ago now, maybe a little longer, we sold the oldest child's child a car. So there was four generations from the same family. Just fantastic.
So do you have like a secret sauce?
No, it's you treat people. I mean, our customers, you hear all the bad, but we focus really, if you look at it, 100% of our customers, according to banks, don't pay their bills. And we end up figuring out how 75 to 80% of them pay us, and the other 25 need some work. And there's really only very few that are out to that are just, not for the program. And they're truly survivors. They go out. I'm almost embarrassed today to have to sell a vehicle for what I sell it for. And what I have to spend to recondition it to make it right, and then see them going out and, having to buy, we can't even get baby formula now, things like that. So they survive. A lot of them survive on a paycheck on what some of us have spent on a dinner at the Capitol Grill, So I just appreciate them. And I think I understand them. And that's the key.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Empathy is an important word in what we do. Like, it's often misunderstood. Like, I think we have to probably introduce more of that about empathy. And because one of the things we can talk about going forward, and by the way, Tommy's agreed to be a guest with us here today, but we also need to pressure Tommy into being an ongoing co-host. So you guys let us know.
Or vacation host, because we plan on doing that.
Right. Yeah. So we look forward to having Tommy. Right. We want him in here regularly regardless.
Yeah. I'll send you my agent's.
There you go. Perfect. If you do that, that'd be great. So yeah, we look forward to having you in here regularly, because one of the things that we can really talk about is I look forward to being able to share, and we've got some Facebook posts out there. We'll try to find them and share with everybody. But Tommy's collection supervisor, expressed some stuff on social media many months ago, and we grabbed that and kind of shared it as a way to, in a short little paragraph, she explained better what it really means to support customers in a really empathetic.
Maybe we should repost that.
Yeah. Just because I think it helps people understand, part of why Tommy and I are often on the same page about these kind of things, because we come from that sort of background. We genuinely care about the customers. They know it. And so I asked him, one of the questions I remember asking at the dealer panel in November was, if I'm your customer, Tommy, how do I know that you care about me and my business? And you don't have to answer again, but I'm just saying it's an example of, I'd ask the same question of any of our dealers listening today, is like, if I'm your customer, what do I see? What does it look like through my eyes? When I look at you, do you genuinely empathize with me? Do you genuinely care about me and my situation?
Do you understand me?
And do you care about whether or not I'm successful with this account?
Yeah, right. You're right. And the thing is, it's hard. It's harder today than, the back in the day when, you know, everybody was a weekly payment and everybody lived 10 miles away and everybody brought their cash in. Nobody paid with credit cards. You know, you knew everybody, you knew what was going on. Now, you know, with ACH and that it makes it even tougher. I find it harder to do what I used to do. And I'm probably can throw that out to the page. You know, what are you dealers doing as a whole to retain customers and stay in contact with customers like I think we should, you know, knowing first name, knowing a dog's name, you know, knowing the goldfish.
That was actually something that was one of the dealers in our class that we did on at Buy Here Pay Here United asked that. They said, how do you stay connected with a customer that's paying ACH? And so we talked about a couple of just you know, ideas about how to do that. And you know, like I'll, if you don't mind, to just kind of speak to some of the things that we talked about. Is it's important to try to engage them in a way that you've already captured some information. And so like one way is to send out a like a weekly or a monthly, probably more monthly, some type of newsletter that talks about the good feels stuff that's happening. Like if you're doing a giveaway, or you're doing, you know, you've got some kind of something that you, some service project that you've done in the area, something like that, that you're kind of giving people the opportunity to see in their own email. Because hopefully all dealers are collecting a good email for each one of their people. And an email list is, I mean, it's a pretty powerful thing for you to be able to reach people in their home. You know, it's not just when we log into social media or whatever, but it's like in their home. And so, you know, that's like one way of being able to stay connected. One of the things I even mentioned at the conference was, you know, how much do we spend on marketing to get people in the door? Well, if you were to, as a dealer, take like $400 a month. All right. So you've earmarked $400 a month, which is, for a lot of people that are in this business, that is not a lot of money for some kind of a marketing thing. So $400 a month, and that you have this this program that for people that have paid on time for the last like 3 months or 6 months or whatever, they get entered into a drawing for a $400 gift card for their groceries for the month. And that actually doing something like that, you know, and you're putting that out there in a newsletter and you're engaging people. It's like, oh, that's really cool. And then if, you know, they're making their payment on time, you know, they get entered in a thing. And if they haven't watched their email, then all of a sudden they have, you know, this phone call that says, hey, we need to swing by and give you your thing. It's like, what are you talking about? And I think it's something like that can really start to engage. And if, you know, if you are doing something along that lines, then the actual handoff, whether they come in to get it or you go to their home or whatever, can include like maybe the collector that's responsible for that account, maybe the person that was a salesperson that was responsible for that account. So you're kind of creating a team feeling, and it also, doing something like that adds a tool in your collector's tool belt.
And this is something that Michelle and I feel like do quite well together, which is, you know, we have begun in the last year to introduce some of the more intangible parts of education for Buy Here, Pay Here. And, you know, you have what you call straight lines, Tommy, where what we call straight lines, which is policies and procedures, all the black and white stuff, right? So, you know, it's that's easy enough to understand. But some of these softer parts, the goodwill, you know, the equity that you create with your customer, not on your balance sheet, but the equity that you build with your customer. And I'll tell you, when the guy asked in our session in Vegas, my answer was, you know, what you're really talking about is engagement, how to keep your customers engaged when they're on ACH or whatever. Now we're in a digital environment. We don't have the same interaction with our customers. So you're really talking about engagement. So I said, please just let Rob Fox and the good people at BHPH United know that Michelle and I would love to come back and talk and extended about engagement, just because that is really an important part. And so I would,
Mm-hmm.
let's throw it out there. We need to wrap up soon here,
We
but I would just throw it out to the group in the same way you asked the question, Tommy. I would add to it and just say, you know, how do you guys, what are some of the best things folks are doing out there to keep their customers engaged? Michelle mentioned newsletter. What else are we doing to keep customers engaged? Because I think it's important to have a little equity for them to know us, to have a little goodwill built up, so that if there is a setback, as you know, Tommy, somebody got transmission go down and they need to come talk to you, having some goodwill in place goes a long way toward getting that matter resolved. Do you agree?
Exactly. Yep. 100%.
Yeah. So it's just about creating that stuff. But
well, we need to wrap up. And so is there anything last thoughts for you for your first Buy Here, Pay Here morning show guest slot? Tommy, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think Buy Here, Pay Here happy hour show would be a lot.
Nice.
Bring your cocktail.
Just a thought. Maybe we'll put a poll up there.
Yeah, I like it.
Like I said, I really appreciate once again, you know, you guys having me on, you guys coming up with this concept, and I think I can see it grow and I can see it help everyone, you know, in our community.
Absolutely.
We hope so, because Michelle and I are going to have way too much fun with this. So last thing I want to throw out there for the group is please let us know, which would you prefer to see, audio or video?
Yeah.
We can do these audio pretty easily, pretty regularly. If you'd prefer to see video, we just want to know, how are you mostly going to watch the show? You know, are you going to
in the car?
Right.
On the, you know.
So audio or video? Just let us know.
And just so you know, if it's something you're looking for, show after show after show, we do have all of these downloaded onto YouTube, and it's on the Jim Rhodes and the Octane group, and it's one of the
playlists.
Mm-hmm. So this will be on there as well. So Tommy, thank you. We're looking forward to seeing you post that question about how do you engage your customer more, and I'd really love to hear some of the ideas that might be coming out of that.
So would I. Yeah, have a great day, everyone out there in Buy Here, Pay Here land.
That's right.
All right,
collect and sell and have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
All right. Well, thank you so much again. And we're so glad to have seen you or heard you. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And until Monday, have a great weekend, Buy Here, Pay Here land.